Okay, story time. So I didn't think I would ever be doing music and in a band again. In about 2007, I was in a band. I was originally a drummer. From there, I moved to become the frontman of the band, and that's really when I started rapping and doing vocals with, as the frontman of the band. And there was another singer, much like now. There's me that raps, and then Mike that sings. This 21 Pilots Linkin Park concept is not a new thing. I've been doing it since 2007. Obviously, Linkin Park was before me. Either way, I was in this band from 2007 until about 2020. And in that time, we played hundreds of shows. We did like all these competitions. We almost played Warped Tour. We almost played Bamboozle. We put out 2 EPs. In about 2015, we started working on this incredible 14-track album. It took us 4 years to record it. We spent probably like $10,000, so many hours. This is like the masterpiece of my life's work. And eventually some of the members of the band became very disenfranchised with what we were doing. And we worked with an engineer who then kept our mixes and our masters. He did not give them to us for an entire year. Finally, we gave up on that person giving them to us. We asked for a hard drive. We got all of our files, but by that time, some of the band was out of steam and they were ready to move on. And I was not ready to move on. I wanted to finish this album that we spent so much time and so much money on. And the rest of the band, to make a super, super long and convoluted story short, they went and they formed a new band. And I had initially thought that it was going to be one person in this band doing a side project, and maybe another person helping out. But one day when I was at work at a studio that I worked in, I went in the live room and I saw my entire band performing songs that were not ours, which meant to tell me that this new band was in fact just my band without me. And leading up to that point for months, and remember I said we recorded that project and a whole year passed before we actually got the stems, where we gave up and we're like, fine, we're gonna get someone else to mix it. A whole nother year passed of just saying, hey, can we all get in the room and finish the album? Can we mix the album? Can we master the album? Can we put the songs out? So now we're going on 2 years, just nothing happening with this project. And it was always excuses. Oh, I can't do it. I don't have notes. But meanwhile, this other band was kind of forming when we had this beautiful project that I would have loved to finish. So obviously I was not happy about that, and I tried to let it go, and it just kind of kept eating at me. And these people had been my friends for some of them my whole life. So things just kept getting worse. And then 2020 happened, and COVID, and everyone's supposed to be locked up and inside and not going outside and staying at home. And I go on Instagram one day and I'm swiping through stories and I see my entire band in the height of COVID, wearing masks and everything, in a studio, saying, we're so excited to be recording our brand new album. And I snapped. I went crazy. Like, not only do you want to disassociate yourself with what we were doing and myself and this entire project that we had, but you had to go in the height of a global pandemic to record a brand new album when we have a brand new album just sitting in our Gmail. And I lost my mind. And I wrote this entire 500-word essay, paragraphs of how I was feeling, and just vomited out so many words. And then I exited our group chat that we had for, I don't know, at that point, maybe 12 years. and I left it that I never want to speak to or see any of you guys again. And what they didn't know at the time, that as well as that happening, you know, you had the global pandemic happening, you had a lot of political unrest and rioting and protesting, people getting sick, people passing away. I had just had a newborn at home, my second child, lots of changes there, working from home, everybody being on top of each other. I was getting very, very sick, very sick. I was getting anxiety attacks. I couldn't sleep at night. All of my hair, which I have now, but all of my hair started falling out of my head. I lost maybe about 80% of my hair. I had alopecia. Now I know, looking back, it was very stress-induced because of what was going on. I was not sleeping at all at night. I was up all night thinking about these lost friendships, thinking about the world and what was happening, the children that I'm bringing into the world, having like just different mental crises about life, which we've all been through and now we speak about in our music. On top of the hair stuff that was happening, my entire body was like a rash from head to toe. It looked like I had severe 2nd-degree sunburn, and I was itchy all day, all night. My skin was cracked, bleeding, peeling. All of this was happening, which also contributed to not being able to sleep. So I just looked crazy, physically sick. I started going on this diet to try to course correct my body, what was happening. And I wound up losing about 40 pounds, 50 pounds. I'm not someone who is very heavy for my size. So losing all that weight makes me look super, super skinny and frail. On top of that, I'm all red and I have no hair. I looked insane. So all of this is happening at the same exact time as I'm losing my best friends and as I had my music career like ripped away from me. And I was so bitter and I was so angry for such a long time. And years passing, I will never touch music again. And you know what, around that same time, I started making the song, Becoming the Villain and My Dead End. I started making that with Mike. Shortly at the end of 2019 into 2020. And then of course that whole thing got put on pause because of COVID. So I had no outlets, no creativity, no anything. And finally, enough time passed. I started some medication. I started feeling better, and my hair started growing back. My skin started clearing up. Life started getting better. And now we're in 2023, 2024. I reconnect with Mike and we start speaking about this project and doing these songs again. And now there's excitement. I have this creative outlet back. And you know, it's cool. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't expect this to become what it is. This Discord and all these emails and all these subscribers and followers on TikTok. We just thought we were going to put out a couple of songs, and then we just saw things building and building. And I got my creativity back. I got my outlet back. My brain is firing on all cylinders. Mike, we got to do this. We got to do this. We got to do this. And I know Mike was going through, you know, some stuff too, creatively, and just kind of like upset with the way things have gone for his music career as well. And, you know, things have happened in Manny. So those are their stories to tell, not mine. So all of us coming together was super, super encouraging and exactly what we needed, the catalyst and the right formula to make all these things happen. And had Mike and I tried to do this 5 years ago, it would not be what it is now. So the timing, chef's kiss of timing. One of the good things too is one of the old members of my band, he had not left my mind for this whole time, because I felt like he was kind of like a victim in this too, that kind of got roped along. And I always knew that like he had a good heart and he was with me, but he became a casualty of what happened, and I had to remove myself. And that's a good lesson too. When there's something toxic and that's literally poisoning your body and yourself, you need to remove that, whether that's friends, family, whether that's, you know, job, whether that's a bad habit, maybe it's a habit that's not even bad, but it's just taking too much of your mental capacity, and you just need to heal. So I had to push all of that away. And the top of the year, this 2025 in the new year, I reached out and I texted and I said, hey man, I don't hate you. I love you. And, you know, I would love to see you and kind of process all of this. And in that beautiful relationship with one of my best friends is back. I realized there was a lot of things that he was going through as well. Got to hear his side of the story about what went down, and you know how painful that this division was for him. So I don't know what that looks like with the rest of the band yet. There's certain things that I still haven't processed, maybe still don't even want to process, but I'm processing things as they come. It took 5 years for me to get to this point. Who knows what the next 5 years will hold, but I will tell you that Saints in Exile is something that has changed my life for the better, and I've never felt this good, this positive, and this hopeful about being creative and trying to leave an impact with music. So shout out to my boys, Mike and Manny. I love you guys, and for the exiled, all of you, all 250 something of you, love y'all, and thank you for the support.